Hi, this is Becca, and thanks for joining me. As I get started here, I want to apologize a little bit for the aesthetics, or maybe lack thereof. Hopefully it doesn't look that different from my regular videos, but it's late, and I've already washed my face, and I'm in my PJs, and it's the end of a long day, at the end of a long week, and I'm tired, but I'm happy, and I'm excited, and I feel like I need to do this now, so I'm doing it before I go to bed so that I can get it out and I can go to sleep. Hopefully getting it out of my head and get to sleep. Well, I'll be able to get to sleep. This is sort of shifting gears a little bit from what I normally do. Usually I'm doing DIY recipes or telling you a dozen different ways to use lavender. This is a little bit more about why I do what I do and my personal history and my personal experience. Might be a little TMI, but I hope you'll stick with me. I started my period today with no warning. Now this is a huge, massive deal for me. Like I said, I'm happy and I'm excited. And so I'm going to give you a little backstory here. When I was 12, my family moved, and it was a big move away from my childhood home and friends and the only school I'd ever gone to, and it was taxing in every way imaginable, physically, mentally, emotionally. I started having trouble with headaches. I'd get migraines, but it quickly evolved into persistent, usually mild, but constant pain, constant headache. I don't even want to think about the damage I did to my poor teenage developing body with all the medication I took. Mostly over the counter, but some prescription stuff too. And I was young, but they didn't really know what was wrong with me. Nobody seemed to have any answers as to this. That's it right there. This is the problem, and this is how we deal with it. I went to, all the specialists. I took all the medications. I had all the tests, and nothing was conclusive. I was diagnosed with a whole bunch of different things. I mean, tension headaches, anxiety, insomnia, depression, migraines, transformed migraines. Have you ever even heard of transformed migraines? Because I had never heard of transformed migraines. Apparently it's a thing. A neurologist thought I had it. It's basically a migraine that presents like a tension headache, because I had a headache all the time. And I would ebb and flow in my diligence in, I'd go to the doctor and I'd take the medication and I'd keep the journal and I'd follow up, and I wouldn't get anywhere, and I'd get frustrated and I'd have to quit going for a while and just give it all a break and reassess. And this went on for 16 years. 16 years. When I was 28, my husband and I decided that we were ready to start a family. And when I wanted to get pregnant, my neurologist took me off my medication. It was not baby-friendly medication at the time. And she recommended Botox. Yeesh. I know, looking back, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did this. Me, who hates needles, who hates shots, who hates blood draws, I actually let a medical professional, but still let a person inject toxins into my scalp. You want to talk about desperation? That's arguably the most extreme thing I did to address my pain. Chronic pain will drive you to do a lot of things. It will push you through a lot of fear. The promise of help. So the idea was that I could get off my medication, the Botox would carry me through until I got pregnant, and ideally, a lot of times when women get pregnant, they feel better. Their hormones change and their migraines and stuff feel better. So I got pregnant with my daughter, and my headaches did change. I don't even remember how exactly, but at the time I recognized that it was different. I did physical therapy a lot when I was pregnant with her. You're really limited in your pain options with pregnancy, and that's kind of what I had, and my insurance would pay for it. And so I went a couple times a week, and it was largely manual, which basically means I got a massage a couple times a week, which was awesome. But after my daughter was born and my cycle started up again, I started having a migraine like the day before my period started every month, like clockwork. It's like migraine and boom, period started. And it was bad. I hadn't had migraines like that in a long time, since I was a teenager, really, since my young teen years. It was mostly those, that milder chronic headache, which I still had, by the way. It's just this once a month I would get this migraine. And then my daughter was about 15, 16 months, and I got pregnant again. We started trying for number 2. I got pregnant again, but I had a miscarriage between 6, 7 weeks, somewhere in there, and that monthly migraine stopped. And I was, at least that's something I could be grateful for in the midst of all that. That was tough. It took me 8 months to get pregnant again with my son. And with my son, my baseline pain jumped. My everyday, all day, everyday persistent pain level was about a 4 to 5 on a scale of 1 to 10. And it was rough. My doctor recommended magnesium, which was more helpful than I thought it was going to be, which I was grateful for, because it was a rough stretch there in that first half of that pregnancy. After my son was born, my monthly migraine came back. It wasn't quite as, like, right at the beginning, like first day or day before or whatever. It was within the first couple of days, plus or minus a couple of days of my period starting, I was having a migraine again, with 2 very small children and a husband who travels. And it was rough. Around this time, right after my son was born, I had started transitioning to some non-toxic products in my home. I had started changing out some things I was using. I had found my essential oils by then, and I was really enjoying making my own products, making my own skincare products and cleaning products, things like that. Air fresheners were out in place of diffusers, and the more things I changed, the better I felt on a regular basis. Like that daily baseline pain started to drop, until one day I realized that it didn't bother me anymore. I didn't really have a headache every day anymore. It was pretty incredible feeling. But that monthly migraine was still hanging around. It was still kicking my butt every single month. And in my DIY explorations, my research, I started to learn about synthetic fragrances and how they are pervasive in most people's homes. We're talking personal care products, laundry products, like dryer sheets and all of it. The laundry detergent, the fabric softener, the dryer sheets, your face wash, your shampoo, your moisturizer, not just perfume, and perfume's an obvious choice, and then of course air fresheners and plug-ins and all of it. It's full of synthetic fragrances, and we don't know what that means. The label just says fragrance on it, but we don't know what that means exactly. And as I'm looking at synthetic fragrances, they're very commonly endocrine disruptors. Well, what does that mean? That's your hormones. Synthetic fragrances were messing up my hormones. It was like a smack in the face. You want to talk epiphany, light bulb moment, whatever? That was it. I knew it. This was it. Of course it was hormonal. It started when I was 12. Of course it was hormonal. It changed with my pregnancies. My hormones were being messed with from stuff that I was surrounding myself with on a regular basis. So I got really diligent about cleaning up the products in the house. I took greater strides to getting rid of the nasty stuff and replacing it with safe, healthy alternatives. and the monthly migraine lingered. It was the last thing left. I even changed some stuff in my diet. There are food things that are endocrine disruptors known to mess with your hormones. I was starting to get a little, my faith was dwindling, let's say. I started incorporating some natural remedies that are supposed to help balance hormones naturally, but I wasn't too aggressive with them because I was still on hormonal birth control, and I didn't want to counteract my birth control. I didn't want it to be useless. So in April of this year, it's July right now, my husband left on a long-term trip, and I quit my hormonal birth control. And I started using my endocrine support system every single day. In addition to the lifestyle changes I had already made, I had have some oils that I use every day to help balance my hormones, just to maintain healthy hormone levels. So today, I got my period with no warning. I had no headache yesterday. I have no headache today. I mean, I have a little bit. I'm tired, like I said. It's been a long day. But I'm functional. I'm not parked on the couch with a mask on telling my kids to keep it down or go play in your room. I'm completely functional, and it's pretty epic. I'm too excited. I don't know what to do about it. But like I said, this is why. This is why I do what I do, because I knew that this day was out there waiting for me. I knew that I could get here. I knew that it was possible. I knew that something was going on. It just took me a really long time to figure out what it was, because no one ever said anything. No one ever said, what are you using on your body? No one ever said, how many candles do you have in your house? Nobody ever put it together. Nothing ever popped on my blood work. Maybe a little bit high or a little bit low, but no red flags. It wasn't obvious for me until it was, and then everything made perfect sense. It all fell into place. But this is why I put out DIY recipes, so that you can work on making the changes too. This is why just one bottle of lavender isn't good enough for you. This is why the oils from Walmart or Amazon aren't good enough for you. It's the totality of it. It's all about getting all the crap out of your home, away from you and away from your family, and replacing it with things that are actually safe and healthy for your body. That's what it's all about. Some of that's oils, some of that's other things. I clean with a lot of baking soda. That's not oils, is it? The oils are a catalyst for me. The oils are a piece of the puzzle. But just like the problem, there wasn't one problem. There wasn't one thing causing the problem that could have one solution. It's not that simple. It's almost never that simple, okay? It's usually a bigger problem. That's a puzzle that you have to figure out. And I don't know, it might hit me like a freight train tomorrow and come crashing down, but it would be different. And at this point, different is good. I will take different because it's progress. And progress is perfection, right? We're getting somewhere. I'm getting somewhere. And that's why. That's the whole point, is to get there, to get where it's better, to get it straightened out, to solve that puzzle, to find that other piece that's missing. If this resonates with you, if this sounds like you in any way, if you're struggling, if you can't get your puzzle figured out, I want to help you. I really do. Because this is such a great feeling. And nobody should have to live like I did for 20 years. 20 years of my life. Like I said, I might cry before it's over. 20 years of my life. day. And hopefully now I can know that it's out there and I can go to sleep because I am tired. So hopefully I'll hear from you. Hopefully this will help you. This will help somebody you know, somebody you love, find what they're looking for.